And welcome back to the Market Wolf, where I give you the best bear case, the best bull case, and I give you my opinion. Texas may launch its own gold-backed digital currency April 8th, 2023. This is very important. Senators introduced a bill that would require the state comptroller to establish a digital currency that is fully backed by gold. The state of Texas would hold gold backing the currency in trust on behalf of the digital currency holders. A gold-backed digital currency would create an alternative and allow individuals and businesses to avoid central bank digital currencies. Boom. cbdc alternative. And if you think this is just a one-off thing, I'm hearing, right now I've got no confirmation on this, but I'm hearing that Texas and 22 other states in the United States are interested in joining with BRICS. If you are not familiar with BRICS, I want to take you over right now, and then we'll come back to this article, but I do want to show you exactly what we're talking about here. Because remember, the Russian ruble is now backed by gold, so I want to show you exactly what we're talking about here. Houston, the Schiller Institute of Texas held an event on December 11th at the Houston Chinese Community Center. The USA must join BRICS. The BRICS countries are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and have formed a coalition for global development. Opening the meeting, former U.S. Senate candidate Keisha Rogers stated that this event was one of many around the nation organizing Americans to reject the current war policy and join with the BRICS nations to achieve the common aims of mankind, creating what India's Prime Minister Modi has called a massive movement for development. So, quote, this is the important part here. If Americans knew how close we were to World War III over the Ukrainian crisis, people would be out in the streets. What the mass media in the United States has blocked out is that since the summit of the BRICS countries in Fortaleza, Brazil, a completely new economic system is developing, and this is meant to challenge the dollar. I am hearing that not only is Texas interested in joining BRICS, but I am also hearing, this is just rumor right now, I don't have confirmation on this yet, is that 22 other states in the United States are looking to join the BRICS nations. So when we look at the dollar on the long term, we're on the 4 hour right now, we've been waiting for it to break down for forever. It breaks down a little bit, flags, and then breaks down a little more. We've already got a failed W reversal there. On the 4 hour, you can see we broke that back down past the line on that W reversal at 101.508. Now we're sitting at the 101.282 inside of the last little area we have inside of this big blue symmetrical triangle that we've been winding up in. And I want to take you out to the larger time frames on the dollar. I'm going to take you to the 1 month because I want you to see here what's been going on essentially all the way back to 68. You can see that despite some of the uptrends in the short term, in the long term, generally speaking, the dollar has been funneling down inside of this green wedge that's pointing to the downside. We've been on an uptrend recently in a channel since about 08, and we've been moving up. We've tried to come up and complete a cup, but it looks like we're gonna fall shy. It looks like that has failed. And honestly, the dollar cannot, you look at the larger pattern is actually this downtrend overall. We basically came to the top of that descending wedge that we're in, or if you want to call it a channel, that's fine too. And are we gonna bottom out again? Well, I don't know how far we could fall. We could definitely go all the way back down to 71,313. But if it holds with this channel, you're potentially looking at a move down to even like 62.11 or further. the dollar homogeny is in the process of ending, and we know that because of the situation with gold. Now, could gold backtrace? Obviously it can, because the dollar could go on a run. But right now we have a lot of instability in the market. So you can see that gold has basically completed this very large cup year over year from, it's basically peaked at about 2001, and then we have our downtrend, and now we're on kind of an extended handle here where we're completing some smaller cups, but it looks like a handle in larger time frames. On the 1 month, we've got the 20-day. It's a full bull divergence essentially, and it doesn't look terrible. So as long as we don't break the 1800 level, essentially on that handle, as long as we don't break about 1800, I would say, let's get really precise. Let's bring in a horizontal line here. I would say as long as we don't break I would say as long as we don't break the 1803.01 level. If we can hold that level, we're probably good. You could have some quick wicks down. It's possible you could break that 1800 level and have a move back up. But I'm pretty comfortable if we hold that we're going to be going to much higher levels when it comes to gold, because the United States dollar is on its way out, especially with the challenge of the BRICS nations. And you need to be thinking about, where am I going to move my money away from the dollar? You're going to have to get into some cash. Think about how much cash you might need. But you really need to be thinking about, where are some gold-backed currencies I can get into? What stocks could I potentially get into? What cryptocurrencies could I potentially get into to perhaps be a store of wealth? And that's going to be a very, very difficult decision to make, because we are in unprecedented times. We're not quite sure what's going to happen. You've got the SEC challenging crypto. You've got states in the United States trying to create gold-backed digital currencies to challenge the Fed's cbdc. Oh, and by the way, the World Bank, they've launched their cbdc. That's right. You've heard that right. It's not a theory. It's happened. It's in the process of happening. So essentially what we have shaping up is a global war and a global economic war. And what we need to hope for is the Federal Reserve. And, well, let's face it, the United States, to a certain capacity, is going to have to back down, especially when you have Texas and 22 other states that apparently have no interest in trying to participate in a system that's totally rigged and fiat. I mean, look at gold. Look at what it's done. Look at the history. Look at the history of gold. There you go. What happens back in 1972? Nixon takes us off the gold standard completely. And look at what happens to the price of gold. You see, our economy is moving towards collapse. The dollar is moving toward collapse. So So start thinking about what you're going to do to preserve your wealth. Do not get caught in this Ponzi scheme. We'll see you next time on the market.